Hello and welcome, FPL managers, and welcome to the Zonal Weakness by Ghana Football Fantasy, powered by Fantasy Football Scout. And of course, tonight to do the Game Week 17 with me, Bethany joins us. Welcome, Bethany.
Hiya. Thanks for having me again. It's good to be back.
Yeah, how are you? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, had a pretty exciting non-FPL week this week, as my dad got an
Okay.
MBE. It's very exciting. So I've been in
Yeah.
London the last few days. But yes, FPL wise has gone good too. I managed to nearly half my rank. I went from just outside 2 million to 1.4 million this week, thanks to a few differentials like 𝐿𝐴 and Leno paying off for me. So that's nice. If Porro had managed to keep his clean sheet and bonus points, I'd have dropped down to 1 million, which would have been great. But I'll take the green arrow very happily. How about you?
Well, I did well, but first, congratulations, Bethany.
Thank
I
you.
think it's a big achievement and well done. And of course, congratulations to your father. Really well done and very proud moment for your family. So that's great. And glad that you made it on time to actually do the recording. So that's great. Thank you so much for that as well. But yeah,
Right.
my game week was good. I was really in a bad situation on Saturday because of the fact that Salah had scored and I didn't have Salah. So, and most of the people had captained him. I had Haaland as a captain and then heard about the injury news and that he's not going to play. And then I had my vice captain on Son. So was wondering if Son would be able to do it, but he did. And I was worried because he was playing Newcastle, so I was really worried whether he's going to score or not. But he did, and apparently I did get a green arrow. Would have been much higher and much better, to be honest, if it was only Poro or Tottenham not really conceding at the very last moment. So yeah, that would have been great. Yeah, the bit of a disappointment was Bruno Fernandes again, and I had to transfer him out. So early transfers for me. But yeah, besides that, it went well.
Good.
So yeah, let's get started. And this is the zonal weakness for Game Week 17, and of course, all the data are based on Game Week 16, and we will be now showcasing last 6 game weeks data, not 4 game weeks data, because the game weeks are very close by, and of course, within December, you have so many game weeks coming up. So if we are taking a short period, the data might not really accurately represent the prediction that we are trying to make. So that's why we have incorporated 6 game weeks data. And of course, if you're not following us or liking us on Facebook and Twitter, please do so. That's where we do the zonal. But of course, the video that you are seeing right now is only available on YouTube. So please do subscribe. And of course, give us a follow because we would appreciate all the kind of support. And of course, we're doing it regularly. So that would be great if you can support us. Yeah. And yeah, all the data that you see are from Fantasy Football Scout members area, and you get a 20% discount if you click on the link in the description section below. And yeah, that would allow you to get access to all the data, including the zonal data for all the teams. Now, the purpose of doing the zonal on Twitter and of course on YouTube is that on YouTube we share most of the teams, but on Twitter we have only sharing the thread with selected teams. So if you want the data or a comprehensive overview, please do watch the video and of course read the thread on Twitter. So let's get into the zonal table and let's see what stands out. I haven't had the chance to really look at it properly, but yeah, this is how it is. So what do you think, Bethany?
Yeah, there's loads to talk through today. So obviously, Manchester City. Obviously, Haaland's looking good there. Ranked second for headers conceded. However, obviously he's currently flagged. Didn't play last game week, so just to keep an eye out. Basically, Pep has said that he should be in on Thursday, and I think probably getting assessed then. So we'll hopefully hear a bit more then. I think the next thing, Spurs on here. So although just want to point out that although Son isn't immediately shining out, actually he's only ranked 6th, so he's just outside of what we normally flag for a good zonal weakness point. So he's still a good shout this week. But Porro, those of us who've gone for Porro, he seems to be managing to avoid double digit hauls, unfortunately, but he's ticking along really nicely. Even without clean sheets, he's managing to get into some great positions with some attacking returns. So If you're looking for a defender transfer, I think he's a great shout. Chelsea are not looking great particularly, so I think avoid in general. But Palmer, if you've already got him, stands out really well on the zonal this week. So definitely play him for left flank chances conceded and crosses conceded from the left flank. Liverpool, obviously, lots of us are invested in there already, and this looks like a great week to be invested. Salah is definitely standing out as a captaincy option this week, ranked first for chances conceded on the left flank. But also Trent, Darwin, if you've held him this long, it may be worth keeping him for one more week. And obviously United haven't been great anyway, but they're down so many players this week. Lots of them either injured or out because of yellow cards, that kind of thing. So Liverpool, I think, really could haul this week. Next one is a really exciting team, one of my favourite teams at the moment, Bournemouth. All of their assets look like they could do well. They're scoring goals for fun. It's not just a 1-0 here and there, like they scored 3 this week. So yeah, depending on where you've got missing players, the way your transfers are this week, Solanke or Semenyo both look great up front. Semenyo obviously a cheaper version, but both getting attacking returns regularly. Tavernier in midfield, or if you're looking for a defender, like many of us are, I've brought in 𝐁𝐞𝐿. They've been keeping a couple of clean sheets, but also he's been getting attacking returns in with the goals and attack and assists too. So looks great. Villa don't look great from the zonal weakness this week, so I wouldn't be attacking there. I think if you've got Watkins, you can play him, obviously, but I think probably I wouldn't be making any transfers towards Villa players this week. Again, West Ham are looking great. I had Bowen last week, and that was highly disappointing for him to come away with absolutely nothing, and for Fulham to win 5-0. So again, avoid, I think, for transfers wise there. And then Wolves again looking really good, kind of underdogs who are just ticking away nicely. Even if they don't get the win, they're scoring quite a few goals. So both Hwang and Kuna, if you've already got them, definitely play them this week. I think they could do really well against West Ham.
Yeah, team to look out for. It's Bournemouth, yeah, and Fulham. But let's see what Fulham did at Shrews. Here it is, the next table. What stands out here, Bethany?
Yeah, so unfortunately for those with Arsenal assets, it's not looking like a great week from a zonal weakness perspective. So I wouldn't be racing to get any Arsenal assets in. And for those of you who've doubled up on Arsenal defenders, like I know quite a few people have, it might be the time to move them on, maybe to a Porro, maybe to a 𝐶𝐸, something like that. Yes, I'd probably drop down to just the one Arsenal defender now, because they have been looking poorer in defence as well. Brighton, I think, are avoids. The zonal weakness suggests that anyway, ranked 19th, 20th for this week against Arsenal, but also they've just got such a mixture of benchings, and you just never know who's going to play really. So I'd avoid them. Newcastle, again, not looking great at zonal weakness this week against Fulham. Fulham have looked much better recently. And I think Newcastle in general are just struggling, trying to keep up. They've got a much reduced squad with so many injuries, and obviously they're trying to play midweek as well. So they're looking very tired. Trippier, who normally we're used to relying on, he's been making huge mistakes, which have led to goals for the opposition recently. So I think I'd be benching my Newcastle assets this week. And definitely not be targeting them to bring them in. Next up, though, is another exciting team. Fulham, I think, have scored 16 goals in the last 4, something like that, 10 in the last 2. Yeah. Their last 2 games have ended 5-0 to them. So definitely their assets are up and coming. If you've got a transfer to make, I think there could be great differentials. I like Iwobi. I like Raul Jimenez. It's great to see him back after obviously he suffered that injury a couple of years ago. It's nice to see him back scoring regularly and in good form. Just to note that on there, obviously Willian is there, but he's currently flagged, so I'd avoid him. But otherwise, I think any of the other Fulham players could be a great shout this week and in the future coming up too. And then finally, Everton, again, are kind of surprising us at the moment. They're doing better than we thought they might do. But for me, I think I'd probably lean towards the Bournemouth and Fulham players. Unless you want a defender, I quite like Mykolenko. they've been keeping some clean sheets. I think Everton have kept the most clean sheets in the entire league, which is just crazy. And 𝐁𝐞𝐭𝐡𝐚𝐤 likes to pop in with a bonus point here or there, or an assist or an attacking return. So yeah, some interesting players and shouts this week, I think.
Yeah, so back in Game Week 4, Tifo Football had done this short video on Everton's defensive numbers, where there was some unforced error, but beside that, their numbers were actually looking great. And the person who was presenting, based on his analysis, what he kind of made clear was that Everton fans should not be worried because things are really going to turn around quickly for Everton in terms of the defensive numbers, but also in terms of how they're playing. And I think that's what we are seeing already. So
I
yeah,
think so. I think so. Even when they've taken that 10-point hit, I think they should be a lot less worried this year than they were previous years about relegation. I don't think they should be in any trouble at all, even with that 10-point hit. So yeah, definitely a team to watch out for.
True. And Sean Dyche has done his magic again. Yeah. And I think the funny thing is, it's a classic FPL, of course, but people have kept sold, what you call it? Pickford.
Yeah, people started the season with him. Yeah, kept the faith for so long. Eventually sold him, and now he's scoring. Yeah.
Now he's keeping it. So yeah, let's go and look at the zonal team of the week. So any particular? I mean, for me, this team looks a little bit different, especially the front two, but also in the middle. So yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I've owned Solanke already this year, and I may be bringing him back in this week. I think he's great. Like we've already talked about, Bournemouth looking great, and I think I wouldn't be worried about doubling up or even tripling up on them at the moment. So it's nice to see both Solanke and Tavernier in there. I think they're both great shouts. Salah, I think I'll be giving the captaincy armband to Salah. I think he's got a great shout this week. Son, I've actually brought in. I was fed up of him ruining my rank every week. And I was worried about him heading off for international duty, but actually there's still enough time. I think he's worth bringing in. So yeah, he's definitely, if you don't own him and you've got a midfielder slot and you can afford him, definitely Son. Palmer, I really like. Obviously, a lot of us already own. So I think again, he's so cheap for his money, good value. I really like the defense this week because I think quite a lot of we're struggling with defense. Nobody's keeping clean sheets, so I think that you've really got to attack those attacking defenders. And Trent, Porro, and 𝐁𝐭𝐿 have all shown they've got that opportunity to get points, even if their team loses their clean sheet. So I think they're great shouts. The only one that I think I'm not so sure about here is Darwin. I think he's had his chances. Lots of people brought him in 3 or 4 weeks ago, and while his underlying numbers and data looks good, he's just not finishing them off. So I know you've sold him this week, haven't you, and got fed up with him. So I think I wouldn't be targeting Darwin, and I'd be happy to sell him even if I owned him for somebody like Solanke or Semenyo instead. But otherwise, I think this looks like a great team that should get lots of points.
Yeah, I was thinking of, he could take some points away from Salah, which he didn't. And yeah, the chances that he was missing and the disappointment that we had to go through every week, and the hope that kills. That's what Darwin Núñez was, basically. But anyway, thank you so much, Bethany, and I think that was it. Thank you so much, and thank you, audience, for joining us again. And of course, we'll be back for Game Week 18, and of course, we'll be covering Game Week 19 as well, because I think Game Week 19 is a midweek, so we'll do 2 game weeks in the same pod next week. But until then, take care. All the very best. Wait for the presses before you make the transfers. But until then, take care. Bye-bye.